All right, 5th grade, I'm just going to repeat and kind of review what we talked about last week so you can start tracing your portrait on the light box today. We want to make sure that the portion of your photo that you're tracing is going to fit on half of the page. So remember, we folded our paper where the halfway mark is. If you haven't done that yet, you'll want to do that. And then we kind of positioned our photo, lined up the bottom of the photo on that halfway mark. If your photo does go off the page, you can fold it up. If you want to make it easier, you can even cut that strip off just so it's not in your way. And then we taped it in its position. And I taped it on this side first, so I'm going to retape that there. At which point then I'm flipping it over and I'm using my light box. You're just going to plug it in one of the outlet strips around the room. You can sit on the floor, at the table, wherever your cord will reach, and then you just push this button on the right side. Some of them might take a minute or two to turn on, and then you'll be able to see your lines through the paper to trace. Now I've already traced to the side, and we are absolutely using pencil and pencil only. And you can see that I did trace my portrait over the lines of my border, and that's okay. They can overlap, and I'll erase that out. When you're ready to flip, you're going to carefully peel that tape off, flip your portrait around to the other side, and before I tape it in place here, I want to make sure that my pencil lines are going to match up on the side of my body. So if you look closely here, you can see my pencil lines stop here and here, and I'm just looking through there. So when I tape my photo, I'm going to match up the lines of my photo with those pencil lines, and that way when I trace on this side, it's just a smooth continuation of what I've already traced. These are going to kind of come together here. Now it is the mirror image. It's flipped. So whatever was on the left will be on the right, and whatever was on the right will be on the left. But I'm just going to trace all those Sharpie lines again. If while you're tracing you notice that something's missing, or you want to add some extra detail, for example, you want to put more shadows in your hair or something like that, or add more detail to your props, or draw things, details, patterns on your clothing, you're more than welcome to do that, or you can do it after you trace. The goal with the light boxes is just to get all your Sharpie lines, your outlines traced. And remember, every once in a while you can turn that off. You can turn that off to check and see your work, and then turn it back on. Sometimes it helps to turn it off, and it helps you catch something that you might have missed. And remember, we're doing this all in pencil, so if you make a mistake, it's easy to fix. All right, now I'm going to turn this off and double check that everything kind of looks okay and that I didn't miss anything and that my portrait's coming together. And then in this area here, I might draw some sort of dividing line, and then I might start adding details or extras to my clothing, to my hair. I might put more shadows in my hair. I might add details to my props, and I'm going to completely kind of finish. I'm going to add some shadows in my hair here. I'm going to completely finish my drawing today. And if you are adding shadows to your hair or texture to your hair, you can kind of just look for shadows and just trace those shadows or lines that are easy to pick out. That's kind of where your natural highlights or shadows are in your hair. All right, and then when I'm finished, the first thing I want to do is go through. I'm just going to put my light box away. I'm going to go through and erase any of that border that my photo goes over on both sides. Make sure that it looks like my image is on top and the border is behind. And once you have your drawing completed and it looks the way you want it, then we're going to trace it with a Sharpie pen. Make sure you're using a fine tip pen. Hold it straight up and down, and you can work on tracing the entire drawing, including your lettering, your symbol, your border, and your portrait. Just make sure that you've erased everything that should be behind before you start that. I'm even going to erase the corners of my border so I don't accidentally trace those overlapping corners. Okay, and it should look, something like this in the corner.